how do we bring people together? How do we bring the corporate body of knowledge on how to take something from a prototype and get it into production? How do we bring that like really solid value with the value of the naiveness and this passion and this community that we get from the maker movement? Like what's the natural way for those two groups of people to share with each other, like share the spirit from the maker movement, share the expertise from the corporate environment? Sheree, have you ever worked with a larger company or
I
thoughts on that?
personally haven't, but I think in part it might just be about building the infrastructure to make that type of community sharing possible. I know when we were developing Piper and designing the entire process, one thing that we really, really wanted in our final product was this aspect of sharing. We wanted the kids who had the actual kits to be able to build hardware and then actually code in their own like game challenges where they could share their hardware creations in the same sort of format as the actual kit game itself. And so for us, it was really making sure that that infrastructure was there for all of these makers who were playing with our kit to actually be able to build with it and share their passion and that naive nature that actually a lot of really great innovation comes from. So that was, as the bigger structure, I guess, we were really focused on building the form that kids could use to share.
Yeah, and that way it seems like you are acting as the company and interacting with the kids as the makers, which benefits you. It seems like maybe a larger company could build that kind of information flow.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges for companies, I think one of the foundational ideas around the maker movement is sharing. And so it's really from a company's point of view, what are you willing to share? How open are you willing to be about what you're doing? I mentioned earlier, Kevin Nolan will be talking about the first build, and I think it's a great example of that, and they've had to kind of rework some of their own ideas, both in willing to share their patent portfolio as well as ideas and processes. But another insight is companies like Intel realized that they had makers inside the company, and they could leverage that, and so they used those makers to also connect to the outside community. I think the perfect world is you have this community inside, and then you're connecting to an external community that brings you new ideas that they can't entirely develop themselves. The GE example is it's home appliances. Most makers aren't going to develop a new microwave or a refrigerator, but if you put a USB port into one of those, what would they do with it? What attachments and other things? So it's thinking in a more open, collaborative way. And really being open to that, not trying to control it and say, like, we want to open, but we want this result. That's in conflict. So but I think in many ways, it could be a rediscovery of some of the engineering talent you talked about. They're frozen, they're locked up. They're in committee land all the time trying to get a job approved. They will go over to an open makerspace and create something on their own just because they want to prove their idea, at least deserves to be real on one level.
Yeah.
And GE is definitely, like, this is one corporation we worked a lot as well, and you can see that they're really rethinking how they're doing things and valuing these things. And we had like exactly what you said, there were public projects and we did also private communities for these guys. And what I saw with GE came to us and did a challenge where they wanted to reduce the weight of a jet engine, and they thought that this 3D printing is a cool thing.Maybe they can use 3D printing for that. And they did a challenge where it's a simple challenge, redesign the brackets using 3D printing. And I think they got 800 submissions from GrabCAD community, and they reduced the weight of 85%, but they were very open about what are they going to get. They didn't get the final project, final design. They got 3 amazing ideas that they knew that they need to combine and take it to the manufacturing, and they knew that they need to put their efforts into this, because community is not interested in like doing dumb work. They're interested in learning and doing something that they get value out of that. And the fact that the GE scientists were on GrabCAD community every day giving feedback for people who otherwise were students in anywhere in the world who never had access to these people. Those were the reasons why this challenge was such a big success.